you, we got our second guest, Sedem. How do you pronounce your last name? I'm horrible at pronunciation.
Amma.
Amma.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm assuming you're Nigerian descent.
No, Ghanaian.
Oh, Ghanaian. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So close by, not too far.
all right. So I guess let's take it from the top. I mean, what got you into boxing?
I have a corporate job, so I work in public relations.
Okay.
So I'm an account lead for a public relations company. Yeah. So I actually have like a
Wait.
serious job. So
You said you're an accountant for a public relations company?
I'm account lead. So I
Okay.
manage all the I manage like maybe 5 or 6 different brands.
Okay.
Yeah. So the working life was basically killing me. So some of my colleagues were just like, let's just go to the gym. So we went to the gym, and then we went to a boxing class, and it literally took off from there. Like that was all she wrote, basically.
How old were
Boxing
you when this
your
happened?
life.
Yeah, literally. Literally.
So,
It was crazy. Like we just went there just to do a bit of, keeping fit, and we just fell in love with it, all of us. But I'm the only person that probably took it to the next level.
how old were you when this all took place?
So this happened when I was about 26.
Oh, okay. So you this is
Yeah.
a late start.
Yeah.
How old are you now? How old are you now?
I'm 30.
Oh, you want to skip that question because you're a lady and you don't want to tell the age?
I'm 30. I'm 30.
Okay. 30. So for about 4 years doing it.
Yeah.
So did you immediately hook up with Xavier Miller, or did you start with another coach before you ended up with Miller?
No, so what happened was that the gym that I was at is called Gym Box. Can you guys hear me?
Perfectly.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I was at Gym Box, which is a franchise gym in London. And there were a few different pro coaches there. So I was initially training with someone called Aaron McLeish. And he kind of showed me the basics of boxing. And then I thought, let me just get my feet wet a little bit. So I started sparring, and then I had a white collar fight for charity. So it was literally like your typical corporate person that goes and does a little white collar fight, but then that took place at York Hall, which is obviously like the mecca of boxing in the UK. But it just was so amazing. It was an experience that I could never, and I just kind of thought, let me try and see what I can do in boxing. So I joined the amateurs, and that was literally it from there.
Which white collar boxing organization did you sign up with?
That's a good question. Actually, I can't remember now. It was so long ago, I can't remember. That's a good question. I'll look it up and get back to you.
Do you happen to know someone by the name of Coach Middy?
Of Coach who, sorry?
Coach Midday? MIDE?
No.
No? Okay. Yeah, because he runs a white collar boxing out. I think his is White Collar Boxing London, maybe?
Yeah, that's a big one. I've heard that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this one wasn't that. I've really forgotten the name, to be honest. But yeah, a guy that runs it, his name is Terry Longmore. So he kind of runs it. I think he's got like a corporate job as well that he does on the side. But yeah, he was doing maybe 2 or 3 shows a year. And a friend just referred me to it. And I thought, you know what, why not see what this boxing stuff can do? And because it was for charity, it felt like I was doing it for a good cause as well. And yeah, like honestly, it was just an amazing experience. And then when I joined the amateur, and yeah, I just fell in love with it from there.
So how many amateur fights did you have?
So I had 10 amateur fights, and I flew through them. I went into tournaments more or less pretty much straight away, and I just swept up shop really, and got national medal, a Haringey Box Cup title, London title, all in a short period of time.
Beautiful. So what year would you say you hooked up with Xavier?
So just last year.
Oh.
So when I was so when COVID happened, and I was basically the week that the lockdown happened in the UK, I was meant to be doing the elites. So we had the semi-finals literally that week. And then obviously we all know what happened with the pandemic, unfortunately. But then, I was thinking about what I was going to do. I thought maybe I could stay for another season in the amateurs just to get more experience, obviously. But then the pandemic, everything delayed, and I just thought, you know what, let me turn my hand to the pro ranks. So later on in the year, probably like end of the summer, linked up with Xavier Miller. He's somebody that I knew from the amateur system anyway, because he's been in the game for such a long time, and he always showed me love. And yeah, went out to Portugal. Obviously, he was in training camp in Portugal, and yeah, we did sort of a trial session, but I loved it. We got on really well. He really is a student of the game as well as a professor, which I love as well. And yeah, we've just been rocking ever since.
So he obviously must think highly of you if after 12 months he's turning you pro. Is it his decision or your decision? Who's influenced you to turn professional?
Well, a bit of both, to be honest, because when I joined the amateur system in 2019, I always wanted to just pick up as much as I could and then see if the professional ranks was for me. And then when I started doing so well and remained undefeated, we thought, what, my style anyway is probably more suited to the pro ranks. So yeah, at the end of the summer, when I was speaking to Zav, he was like, "It's up to you." Like it was definitely something that was in a ball that was in my court, but he obviously thought that I have the talent to do well in the pros now, and so that's kind of where we're at with it.
So being with Xavier, did you happen to fall under Dillian White's management team as well, or are you being moved and guided by someone completely different?
Yeah, so we're moving a bit different. Dillian, me being out there, he's been completely supportive. I mean, it's literally, he'd be training and he'd come over to us and, stop, do a bit of pad work. We'd be on the bags. He'd be like, "Oh, why don't you try this?" So he's been completely supportive, which is great to have that relationship there. But we're moving a bit different because it's not that everybody in the same team needs to be guided by the same people, We're exploring other options, really.
Do you foresee yourself ending up with a matchroom since they're starting to be, female? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing a lot you have to give, praise where praise is due, right? And especially in the UK, they've got loads of females, not necessarily at my weight. I think they've got a couple at my weight, but that's definitely something that could happen in the future. You never know. But obviously you want to align yourself with somebody that kind of knows what they're doing with females and that know how to guide females in the right direction. So yeah, we'll see. I think at my weight in particular, I box at welterweight and super welterweight. Yeah. So in the UK, there's a lot of girls that will be coming up, especially after the Olympics. So we'll see what happens.
Wow. So I mean, obviously, with 5 fights, women are getting title shots. We've seen Ebony Bridges, Melissa.
Yeah, I know, right?
Melissa
What do
Parker.
you think about that?
About 5 fights getting a title shot?
Just out of interest.
I mean, if you have the talent, like I'm following the career of Melissa Parker. Well, her maiden name is Odessa. And,
yeah, she fought last weekend.
And just won the IBO title. And I guess if you're like Lomachenko would be the metaphor, right? If you're talented enough to be fast tracked, well then what's the weight? She's 34. So it's like, what's the weight if you're talented enough? But, for instance, me looking on the outside, for you, I've never seen you fight, never seen you hit pad work, nothing. Xavier said, let's get Sedem on, let's get her on, and let's hear your story. That being said, hearing your story, knowing you started in white collar boxing, I would assume they're going to give you a slower route than 5 fights to a title shot. But again, continuing to talk to you, hearing that he's turning you pro after only working with you for 12 months, now I'm more intrigued. Maybe you're a killer. Maybe you're a killer because now we're hearing that you're also bigger than normal females, right? Like 147, 154 isn't Katie Taylor, Serrano, Cindy, none of the popular girls, right?
Yeah.
Like you're pushing the McCaskill weights, the what's this girl she just beat? Breakhouse.
But bearing in mind, even though I had one white collar fight, remember I was in the amateurs and I was doing tournaments, so I do have the foundation,
so you
like I wasn't on GB. Yeah.
You consider yourself experienced then?
Well, I mean, I definitely could do with more experience, like if I was on, for example, the Team GB squad, they're traveling around the world all the time. But when I entered boxing, it was late, you see. So I didn't have the going to the under 22s and all that kind of stuff. So I think for the short period that I had in boxing and what I was managed to, rack up, definitely that's good for somebody within my experience bracket, if you know what I'm saying.
Definitely. So you're saying you don't think you'll be moved too slow. You'll be
Yeah, well, to be honest, it depends on what the team think at the end of the day. We'll see, really. I mean, I wouldn't want to be fast tracked. I don't think anyone should be fast tracked, even if you are an Olympic gold medalist. I think that the pro game is different to the amateurs, as you know. Mm-hmm. And especially for women, put into context, for women as a senior, you still box with head guards, The men, when they turn senior, especially in the UK, they don't have head guards. So it's just things like adapting. And I think that for women, it takes a little bit longer to adapt to the professional system. So yeah, we'll see what happens, but I'm excited for the journey for sure.
Is there excitement because possibly 5-6 fights down the line, you can be in a world title fight or you can become a world champion the way that women's boxing is structured opposed to men's boxing?
That's a good question. Yes and no. I'm just more excited about the journey of it because I didn't grow up. My parents didn't put me in boxing when I was 6 years old. That wasn't my journey. Literally, this all happened because I was in a corporate job and I needed an outlet. I needed something to support my mental health. So me being in this position now, it's kind of by chance, So it's more about the journey that I'm on that I'm excited about. When I was, when I won my first gold medal, I'd never thought I would be there. It's just sheer tenacity and perseverance that got me there. So I think that turning over and going through the journey is really what I'm excited to basically do and embark on.
So did you leave your corporate job altogether, or are you still using those skills? Because as a fighter, you're a walking advertisement. Being in the public relations world, I'm sure you make contacts that'll help you get sponsorships, especially when women's boxing's pay isn't equal to the men, especially not on this level at the beginning stages.
Yeah, definitely. It has helped. It kind of goes hand in hand. And I'm so glad that I have the business acumen because I've been doing it for years and years now. I still work full time. Like just before this call, I was on another call and I have another call after this, So I'm still working full time and I'm training full time. It's just sheer dedication. Like I'm up at 5-6 a.m. in the morning and then, training after work. So I'm just balancing both. But it definitely works in my favor, especially for now. Obviously, I know that I can't do that forever. I've got my future ops out there who are training full time and they get to sleep in the middle of the day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I know that this can't, but it's a secure job that I have and I'm able to do both for now. So I'm making the most of it and they're all transferable skills. When I'm looking over those contracts, I know exactly what clauses to look out for. I know what to say when I'm in those meetings. I know how to conduct myself. Obviously, I have a team, but I know how to conduct myself in those rooms when those serious conversations are being had. So I use it to my advantage.
I'm excited. Are they behind you? Like, do they support you when you have to go to a tournament? Do you feel nervous asking for time off, or are they supportive and like, no, take as much time as you need. Make sure you get the win.
It's crazy because I changed jobs over the pandemic. I changed jobs and I only was looking for a job that would be able to support my journey because obviously there's days where I've got sparring and I have to be away during lunchtime, right? So but I just say to them, do you know what? I've got training. It's wherever I have to take the morning off and they understand that. And to be honest, they're kind of proud that they have somebody who also has a side hustle that they're passionate about. Like everyone at my workplace, they all have little side jobs that they do or, businesses, whatever. And they champion it. So I'm blessed in that respect for sure.
Absolutely. We have a question here from the people. We got Big Casual that says, Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 3. How do you see it playing out? #2time.
Okay. Thanks for your question. I have Tyson Fury. Not just because he's from the UK, but I just feel like what he showed us in the last fight was more than just skill. He showed us heart. he showed us that he had something else to bring to the table. And I just don't know what Deontay Wilder can do to counteract that on this occasion. If the press conference was anything to go by, he doesn't seem himself. I don't know, it could be a play, we don't know. But I think that Tyson Fury takes it the third time.
Have you seen the clips of him and Malik Scott on the internet, or are you not a social media?
I have. No, I've seen it. I saw one of Deontay skipping yesterday, actually. Funny enough, I was watching it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know what to make of it. I think maybe sometimes having a new person in your camp maybe invigorates you and gives you a new motivation and I heard in an interview actually this morning that Deontay Wilder said this is personal. So maybe he'll come with a fire that we don't know about. But I still think Tyson Fury's going to take it.
All right. Let me see. We got another one came in from Coach Myers in Connecticut here in America. He says, if women's boxing had a Mount Rushmore, who would be your four? Mine would be Christy Martin, Layla Ali, Clarissa Shields, and Wolf. Good question.
Yeah, that is a brilliant question. I haven't heard that question before. That's a brilliant question.
Yeah.
My favorite of female boxer of all time, Ann Wolf, because she was a complete savage and she wore her heart on her sleeve, and I just really respect her for that. She came from nothing, so she would be on there. Clarissa Shields, I mean, how could she not, because of everything that she's accomplished? I mean, I was so impressed with her a couple of weeks ago with her first MMA fight.
Yeah.
Christy Martin, Jane Couch from the UK. She did a lot in the UK. For people in the States that don't know about her, she did a lot in the UK just to be able to get a license, a professional license. They tried to shut the door on her and she pushed through. So definitely Jane Couch. Who else? So that's 3. Katie Taylor. She's very quiet, very small personality, but I really respect everything that she's done for not just Irish boxing, but just boxing period. She's been able to stay true to herself and transcend different generations. And she's skilled. She can actually fight, and she's a bit older, but she's still performing at a very elite level. And who else? Those are the ones that stand out for me, actually. But yeah, definitely Jane Couch, Kay Taylor, Clarissa Shields, and Wolf. And Wolf is like the head honcho for me.
And Wolf. What is it that you like about her?
Because first of all, she can bang. And one thing you don't see a lot from female boxing is like heavy hitters. I mean, there's people coming up now like Savannah Marshall who can actually punch, but
yes,
and Wolf could. I mean, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the fight with Vonda Wood, where she basically laid her out flat. This chick was basically like 7 foot tall.
Yeah. I've seen that. That's a pretty famous clip. It's all around. I know exactly.
Yeah. So but there's obviously many instances where Ann Wolf was laying chicks out, and I'd see stuff of her in sparring too. And I just think I watched a documentary about her journey and how she really struggled. And for me, the way that she was able to persevere just resonated. I don't come from that kind of struggle, but I could relate to it because she had to grind hard. And yeah, we need another savage like that.
I'm asking this question. I'm obviously a little biased. I know this person personally, but she reminds me so much of Ann Wolf, and I guess it's physically, right? Like physically, she reminds me of Ann Wolf. And then I can't say in the ring because I have not seen Shadesha Green like knock someone out the way that Ann Wolf has. But she's definitely aggressive. I only seen her spar with men. Have you heard of Shadesha Green?
I haven't. What weight did she fight at?
168.
Okay.
Yeah,
no,
she's in the Franchon Cruz division. Who's the girl that Clarissa fought? Christine Hammer's division as well. Alicia Napoleon.
Middleweight, super middle. Yeah, cool. Okay, I'll have a look out for her.
Yeah, she reminds me a lot of definitely has a beautiful left hook to the body. But in your division, another stateside girl, actually you guys are right on par. Cause she's 1-0 now. She just had her pro debut. Her name is Aida Biggs.
Okay.
Oh, you heard of her?
I've heard of her, but I've never seen her fight. I don't know much about her.
Okay.
Whereabouts is she from in the States?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. Okay.
Yes. She's going to be fighting July 31st. Yeah, women's boxing is actually exploding, man. Shout out to Katie Taylor and Clarissa Shields. The both of them really have pushed the needle and turned things around for you guys. Do you foresee 3-minute rounds ever coming? Is that something you're interested in? And before you answer, Michaela Mayer had a beautiful spin on it the other day, and I never looked at it that way. She said, why do I want 3-minute rounds? They're not paying me like the men to fight 3 minutes, so why would I fight an extra minute for,
I agree with that. I think in the amateurs, when you get to elite level, you start doing 3 minutes. So in the gym, like, you become accustomed to doing 3-minute rounds. So I think, though, commercially speaking, if we're only getting interest in female boxing now with 2 minutes, then how are we going to get to the 3-minute level? Mm-hmm. Maybe they should consider doing 12 2-minute rounds, you know? Mm-hmm. But I think 3-minute rounds will be a challenge for the public to buy into. But hopefully in the future, that could be something that we could explore. But the parity in the pay has to level up, because we can't be getting paid the same amounts that we're getting paid now to do an extra minute. That doesn't make any sense.
For sure. Well, definitely agree with you. So what do you envision for your career? Obviously, it's in infancy. But,
it's infancy, yeah.
But for the next 6 months, what do you perceive happening?
So in the next 6 months, God willing, I can have my pro debut on a major platform. That would be the dream. And it's about being active. So over the next 12 months, they're continuing to develop, getting good work in, fighting as much as possible. If I can be fighting, 4 or 5 times a year, that would be great. And then, just start building up to sort of belts, essentially, over the next few years. So that's the plan. But it's about making the right moves at the right time and developing properly.
So you don't have a date for the pro debut yet?
Not yet. It's all in the works. So when it's finalized, I don't like talking prematurely. I'm sure you understand. So
for sure.
Yeah. So when it's finalized, we'll lay it out.
Do you have a projected month?
Definitely back end of the summer.
So end of August.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's your walk around weight?
So I walk around like 70 kilos. So I fought at 69 in the amateurs, which is 152.
Okay. Yes.
My maths is right. Yeah. So
So that's welterweight in the amateurs, 152.
Mm-hmm.
So for women's boxing, are you going to come down to 147, or are you going to move up to 152, gain the 2 pounds to 54?
Nah, I think I was always walking. When I was competing, I was always walking around or competing underneath the weight. So getting down to 147 wouldn't be a problem for me. So that's what I definitely would aim to do, for sure. But women, we bounce around, so I could do 147, 154, maybe 160. I think that would be a bit too heavy for me, though. But yeah, I could jump around those weights.
Beautiful. So can you give out your social media for anyone who isn't following you? Can do so. Let them know where they can follow your career.
Yeah, sure. So at Sedem Amar. So SEDEMAMA across everything. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, even LinkedIn if you're in the corporate space. And you can find out more about me there.
All right. Well, Sedem, thank you for coming on the program. I'm sorry for that little pause. I'm screen sharing your social media on Instagram.
No problem.
To the YouTube world that's live right now with us, so they can see how to follow you and the spelling and things like that.
No, thank you for having me.
No,
and
thank you.
Sorry about the internet problems.
Nah, no worries. No worries.
Internet.
it always takes a little bit of time to get used to, but you'll be a regular on here. We're great friends with Xavier. Him and his fighters do good jobs, and I'm expecting big things from you. Like I said, women's boxing.
I'm expecting big things too.
Well, great. Women's boxing is booming, and we would love to be a part of your career. I see you're already sponsored by BoxRaw. Look at you. There you go.
Yeah, I do a lot of work with BoxRaw. they've kind of followed me on my journey from when I won Haringey Box Cup like a couple of years ago. So they've always been really supportive. So I do a lot of work with Box Raw.
That's amazing. Shout out to Box Raw for supporting boxing as a whole and
good guys
looking out for you. So thank you again. And I guess give out that social media one last time for anyone hard-headed.
Yeah. So thanks everyone for looking in. It's at Sedem Ama, SEDEMAMA. Hit me up and I'll definitely respond.
All right, thank you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Up and coming prospect. 0-0 at the moment, but she's looking to get the win and trained by Xavier Miller. So you know big things are coming. Thank you once again, and catch you on the next one. All right. So yeah, man, I'm expecting big things. You know, especially if Xavier is, ready. Not pushing her, but ready for her to turn pro. After just 12 months working with her, he must see something big. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited, man. You know, women's boxing is blowing up. It's blowing up. It's their time, and they're getting their shine. Funny, we were just talking about Aida Biggs, but, you know, going through her Instagram, she's pretty nice on the eyes as well, and that's always going to help. If you look at a person like Mariciela Conejo, you know, she's gets a lot of opportunities. It works that way. Christine Hammer, opportunities. So, you know, it is what it is.
Yo, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, from title, betting shows, the list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.